Good morning, students. How are you all? Once again, welcome back to yet another session of the online English classes. In today's video, we are going to continue with our discussion of the chapter MALU BHALU. In the previous video, we had already discussed 4 stanzas from this poem in great details, and today we are going to discuss few more stanzas from this poem. But before we start any new discussion, it's important to first have a look at the things that you have already learned. So, in the very beginning, we discussed that the poem deals with a little polar bear named Malu. This is the reason why the poem has been titled as MALU BHALU, because it deals with a little bear whose name is Malu. And as you already know, Bhalu is the Hindi word for bear. Next we saw that along with her family, Malu lived in an icy lair of the polar region. I hope you already know what the meaning of the word lair is. It is a cave-like structure where a wild animal lives. Just like any other child, Malu too learned many things from her parents. Malu wanted to travel far because she wanted to explore the things that lie beyond the big blue sky. So Malu is an adventurer. Yes, and at last we discussed that her mother asks her to be patient and wait for summer. So today we will find out what had happened after this. Now we are going to start our discussion. But before that, just take a look at this beautiful picture of Malu and her mother hugging each other. Yes, it just gives a very warm feeling, right? So now let us start. First things first, Malu's mom clasped Malu tight within her arms. So this is what we get to see in this picture. So she is tightly hugging Malu. Okay, so in the very beginning, let's see what happens, and let's first see what the meaning of the word clasped is. The word clasped is the past tense of the verb clasp, and clasp means to tightly hold something with the hand. Yes, so here in the picture you can see this is the hand of an elder who's holding the hand of a little child, of a little kid. So here the elder is clasping the kid's hand. In the same way, Malu's mother also clasped Malu tightly within her arms. First things first, Malu's mom clasped Malu tight within her arms. Then she said, her voice was firm, "Now, my dear, you'll have to swim." So see, students, Malu is going to take her first lesson, her first swimming lesson. Okay, she's a little polar bear and she has to know swimming. Okay, her parents know that, but she doesn't know it. That is why Malu's mother is preparing her for the lesson. So in the very beginning, she is, trying to give her courage by holding her tightly, by loving her, and then she firmly says, her voice is firm. She says that, "Now, my dear, you'll have to swim." "But Ma," said Malu, "what do I know? How will I? I've never swum before." So Malu seems a bit scared here. Why? Because Malu has never swum before. Yes, this is her first time. You see, when she says, "What do I know? How will I?" it clearly suggests that she is quite scared of this. And those of you who know swimming, you would also understand that when you first swam for the first time, it was not a very easy thing, right? It is a bit scary to swim in the water for the first time. So Malu is also undergoing the same thing. Students, see the word swim here. It is written in 3 forms, okay? The 3 verb forms, the present, past and past participle. So the present form of the verb swim is swim only. In past tense, it is written as swam. And the past participle form of the word swim is swum. So there is a fine difference in all the 3 words. The difference is that of letters I, A and U. Okay, so in this chapter, in the poem, the paragraph or the stanza that we just now discussed, here the past participle form of this word swim has been used. "Don't worry, dear," said Malu's mother. "Do as I do, that's all," she advised her. So see, students, just now we saw that Malu is scared of, getting into the water to swim. So what her mother is doing is she's encouraging Malu. Yes, I think this is the same thing that you people also get from your parents when you are scared of something, right? So her mother is telling her not to worry about anything, not to be scared, because her mother is going to be there. It's not that her mother, Malu's mother, will not just leave her in the water, right? She will also be there. So what does she say next? Do as I do. So first she is going to get into the water, then Malu has to follow whatever her mother is doing. Yes, so this is the advice that Malu's mother is giving to Malu. She had no choice, no other way. Malu had to swim that day. So Malu knows that her mother is very strict in these things, as we have already seen in the very first stanza of today's video, that her voice was firm. Okay, so Malu cannot have any escape from this. Today she has to take this lesson. Yes, this is the reason why she has no choice, and there is no other way for her to escape. Today she had to swim. Yes, so what she does is she tightly grips her mother's hand. Tight she gripped her mother's hand into the water splash to land. Alright, so let us first see the meaning of the word gripped. The word gripped is the past tense of the verb grip, and to grip means to hold something with the hand. In this picture, as you can see, there is a hand which is gripping a pencil. Okay, so in the same way, Malu also gripped her mother's hand. Now, after she has tightly gripped her mother's hand, Malu falls into the water. She lands into the water. Yes, and what happens when she falls into it? The water splashes. Yes, let us see what a splash looks like and what exactly does the word mean. The word splash is the sound made by something hitting or falling into a liquid. Yes, so whenever you drop something into the water or in any kind of a liquid, you must have seen ripples in it, and in the picture you can see this is what a splash looks like. Yes, so when Malu, she has some weight, yes, so when she falls into the water, there's a splash. So this is what exactly a splash looks like. Alright students, so now it's time for you to go through a quick summary of all the important points that we have discussed in this video. Of all the important things that we have discussed in this video, let us see the very first point. The very first point is Malu's mother prepares her to take her first swimming lesson. And how does she prepare her for this? She tightly hugs her. She tries to encourage her. But Malu is a bit scared as she has never swum before. It is very natural, right? Because if you don't know how to swim, you will definitely be scared when you are going to take your first swimming lesson. Yes, so the same thing happened with Malu as well. And at last we see that Malu's mother advises her not to worry and follow everything that she does. Yes, so as a result of this, what does her mother do? She first gets into the water and then Malu tightly grips her hand and Malu also falls into the water. And she lands, she doesn't get drowned because her mother is holding her. Yes, so her swimming lesson is almost successful. Now it's time for you to do some work. So as you have already gone through an in-depth discussion of the 3 stanzas and you have also gone through a detailed summary of everything that we have discussed in today's video, now you have to answer some very easy questions. So here are the questions. Question number 1 is, why was Malu scared to swim? Number 2, what advice did Malu get from her mother? Question number 3 is a reference to context, and the statement is, I have never swum before. And based on this, you have to answer the following 3 questions. So here, the first question is, Who is the speaker of the above quoted line? Number 2 is, you have to mention the source of the above quoted line. And number 3 is a fill in the blank. Swam is the dash form of the verb swim. Okay, so these are very easy questions. I hope you'll have no difficulty in answering these. Alright students, that's all for today's discussion. The next part of this poem would be discussed in the upcoming video. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.